Yo, what is up, Band-Aids? This is Pack Osiris coming at you with another video. Today, I'm talking about 5 artists that I think are a lock for the 2019 XXL Freshman list. Now, the thing is, I've actually been kind of looking at some data here for the XXL Freshman from the past few years, and I've noticed some trends that are kind of like blatantly obvious. So I've kind of come up with like a short list of like a few rappers that I think are like basically guaranteed to be on the list based on that information. So I want to just kind of give a little bit of a sample, kind of show you guys what artists I think are going to be on there, and we'll see what's up. So first of all, we have Asian Doll. Check this out.
50 bins in my pants, fly like Peter Pan. I told that nigga I'm not faking, I'm not with pretend. My bitch.
Okay, Asian Doll is dope. She makes a lot of hard music. She has that kind of like South, like South kind of rapper style. I believe she's from Texas, so, obviously it makes sense. And recently, she was actually signed to 1017 Records, which is the record label owned by Gucci Mane. So she's kind of like on this new wave of like business kind of stuff going on. Because, Gucci came out of prison. He started doing all this business stuff. So shouts out to her. I think, definitely like she has a very good chance of being on the XXL Freshman list, especially with Gucci Mane, being such an influential person in hip hop. Like, he can pull those strings, he can make that shit happen. So this is just a perfect example of someone that I think is very likely to be on the list. Next up, we have Rico Nasty. This is one of my personal favorite artists, like in rap music right now. So I just want to play a little clip here.
When the times was rough, I would look up and pray. Thank God I ain't have to smack a bone my day. Fucking God, smack a bitch today. Thank God I ain't have to smack a bitch today. Yeah, smack a.
Now, I love Rico Nasty. She has kind of this interesting dynamic where she has kind of like two different sounds. She has kind of like this really hardcore, like standard, like rap banger sound. And this is kind of like the songs that she does with Kenny Beats. I really like Kenny Beats' style. He just pushes that bass on you. Like, he just punches you in the face with it. And I love it. Like, it's great. It's great music. Rico Nasty recently signed to Atlantic. Well, I don't know recently, but yeah, she is signed to Atlantic. Good for her, by the way. And she's just been blowing up. Like, she's just been like consistently increasing her success. So shouts out to her. I think she's completely deserving of that. But yeah, so going back to the two different styles, she kind of has like two different styles. One of them is like this hardcore banger, like bass heavy rap music, and then the other kind of style she has is like more soft, like almost like pop music. It's kind of strange. And she doesn't usually make her videos for those songs. So if that's something that you would really just notice if you just listen to her music rather than pay attention to her music videos. And I mentioned that because personally I tend to focus on music videos mostly. So next up we have Bali Baby. I don't know exactly where she's from, but she's been making a name for herself. She recently did a song with Lil Debbie, so that's pretty dope. And her music just fucking goes, dude. Like, check this out.
I'm moving fast, just like a panther, not talking money. I cannot answer, making money so they can't stand her. She moving dirty, like she a dancer. My lips spreading, like it's some cancer. Be on alert, like your name.
I love her style because she's kind of a badass, but she's also like really stylistic, and she's almost kind of like the brat princess of rap music right now. So she's pretty dope. She's been, making a name for herself. Like I said, she did a song with Lil Debbie. So I think she's really like about to like really blow up. That's kind of like the perfect person to put on the XXL Freshman list. I'm a fan of her work. She's really dope. Check her out. And I think she's doing a good job. So at this point, I've mentioned three female artists who I think are just like totally like running the game right now, basically. And like just in general, I think female rappers are like kind of like taking over. So like I'm always kind of paying attention to that angle. But anyways, I do want to throw a couple male artists on here just because, you know, there's a couple out there that are pretty good. So first of all, Jack Harlow. He's an interesting character. He's actually from Kentucky, and I live in Kentucky, so it's kind of nice. It's kind of like, you know, the home field kind of situation. You know, Kentucky isn't really a place where rap is like a big thing, so it's kind of cool to have like a rapper from Kentucky like start to blow up, and like really I have seen this guy blow up. So shouts out to him. Check out this song.
I'm off a tab with a synthetic sundown, 45 minutes till the shit set it. Check it for the kid, I had a chin check him, big move, and we teach him big lessons over here.
I'm off a tab of that synthetic. I love that line because like most people just aren't even gonna get it. Like that's such a white person line. Like, you know, all I'm gonna say is that research chemicals are a hell of a drug. But I like that line. I think that's, you know, one of the things I've noticed about rap music is that there's a lot of these lines that are like super niche, like only like 1% of their fan base is going to understand it, and like that's one of those lines. So I love like understanding the reference, and you know, I think he's a great artist. He has a lot of great songs, and he's been around for a minute too, but he's starting to blow up. So shouts out to Jack Harlow. I think he's a very good placement for the XXL freshman list. I don't know if he's going to be on it, but you know, I think he's one of those great choices. Next up, we have Steven Cannon. I was actually going to put Lil Xan here, but I think Lil Xan like retired from music or something stupid. So it's kind of like the next best thing, Steven Cannon. Personally, I'm actually more of a fan of Steven Cannon than Lil Xan, but you know, popularity and all that shit. So I thought that probably Lil Xan was a better choice. But personally, I prefer Steven Cannon, and even more so like Eris Ray, who's the feature on this song. But check this out.
And she never really cared who was next, nigga. Now I'm in the kitchen with the water. Now I'm in the kitchen with the water.
This song is so fucking wavy, and I love the visual style because, you know, they invert the colors, so it's a little different, but it's also not that crazy. And this video in particular is actually really interesting because 2 Chainz, you know, the artist 2 Chainz, he actually copied the style of the video. As you can see here, he has the exact same scenario where he's in the pool, he's in the water, like the colors are inverted, he's kind of rapping to the camera. It's literally like the exact same scenario. And actually, I am the person who called this out. Like me personally, I'm the person who like announced this to the world as like style biting. So you know, shouts out to me. But you know, the point I'm trying to make here is that this is definitely an artist who's being noticed. This is definitely an artist who's kind of doing their own thing. There's like, you know, a level of creativity that's being like just stolen basically because, you know, obviously 2 Chainz kind of made a different video that's kind of the same style. So shouts out to Steven Cannon. He's from the Cincinnati area, which is like the area I live in. I live in like northern Kentucky, which is like the same area as like Cincinnati. So I actually have kind of like a regional connection to like 2 of the artists on this list. So it's kind of cool. Like, you know, I mean, I'm not from this area, but this is where I live currently. So, you know, it's kind of interesting on that, in that regard. But these are just 5 artists that I think are a really good placement on the XXL freshman list. Like, I think it's pretty like, I'd say probably at least 3 of these 5 are like definitely going to be on the list. But you know, the XXL freshman list is kind of known for being like controversial and like almost somewhat random. But like I said, you know, I've been kind of looking at the data and looking at the numbers, and I think I've kind of recognized like the stats that are being used to choose these artists. And so these are 5 of the artists that I think are really going to be on here. That's Asian Doll, Rico Nasty, Bali Baby, Jack Harlow, and Stephen Cannon. And in fact, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of the artists on the list are female. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that that's actually what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. There's a few other female artists out there who are kind of like starting to make a name for themselves. And I think it's the year of the female, like in rap music. And I don't even know if that's like a trend that's going to continue, but definitely like going into the next year or two, I think that's something that we're going to see. So check out these artists and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think for, your own pick for 5 artists that are going to be in the XXL freshman class. So peace, and let me know if you have any questions.